For nearly 2 decades, Stock Cars Racing's top series took to South Beach to crown its champions, and tonight, the Homestead Miami Speedway is just another step towards the playoffs for these SRN HairClub truck drivers, where it is round 7 of season 7 of Speed Racing Network Racing Action here, and I am Emerson Arden with Jonathan Byer alongside in the virtual booth this evening here in virtual Homestead, Miami, Florida, Homestead, Florida, and JB, last time out, it was Drake Carty who led all but 2 laps out in the cornfields of Iowa en route to his second career victory. But will he be able to three-peat tonight? The Homestead Miami Speedway boasts unique challenges for what it seems like being the only mile and a half with a simple oval shape, but track is anything but, JB. With the progressive banking up to 20 degrees in these corners, this track's gonna have these drivers searching high and low for some speed tonight.
This is one of my favorite racetracks we go to. Also the site of my first career Speed Racing Network win.
That's right.
A few years back. You thought we saw a lot of lanes last week. Oh, wait. Yeah, there's a couple more here on this racetrack. I mean, there's guys that can run the wall. There's guys that just paint the yellow line. And there's probably about 4 lanes in between that. That you'll see get used, especially with how aerosensitive these trucks are. You're going to be hunting that clean air. So, man, restarts and this initial start, they're going to be exciting because they're going to fan out trying to get everywhere. Your goal is going to try to keep momentum up, but we were talking to our admins pre-race, and ultimately what usually decides these races here, Emerson, is who's best at managing their tires. So the people that qualified up front might not be the ones that find themselves up front once we get a few laps in the green.
Well, speaking of qualifying, tonight's race, we'll start with 2 lanes tonight, JB. It's Drake Carty, the driver who is hot right now. He's won his first 2 career races in the last 2 weeks. Jeffrey Radke, though, looking to see if he can dethrone Drake Carty right now. He'll start P2. Andrew Harris and James Shainwolf will start in row number 2. Kyle Spees and Lane Doyle will be 5th and 6th. Jason Green and Ben Parks, 7th and 8th. Matthew Greathouse and Daniel Baller to round out the top 10, JB.
Yeah, from there on back, David Flanagan's going to start 11th, Kyle Johnson 12th. The next row, Dylan Godinez and Jeffrey Vickery. Dan Park back in 15th, Bo Brady 16th. The row behind them, Aiden King and Dalton McKinney. And then rounding out the top 20, Joshua Siegfried and Sean Corcoran.
Starting 21st tonight will be Chris Luttrell, Daytona race winner. Corey Stahl will start 22nd. Wally Babb will then start 23rd, and Scott Kalal 24th. Row 13 will see Sean Merriman and Sean Long, the Sean and Sean Show. Connor Cunningham will start 27th, Michael Seidor will start 28th, and row 15 will be Spencer Brown and Justin Smith.
And then rounding out the rest of this field, Joe Ruggles Jr. in 31st, Zachary Tallman in 32nd, Jason Kradke 33rd, Robert Vick in 34th, Evan Carbon in 35th, and Mark Person in 36th.
How about that, JB? It is a full 18-row truck field for tonight's race here in South Beach, Miami, Florida. Homestead, Miami. It's going to be a fun one tonight. 1 pace lap, so they're already working their way through turns 1 and 2, JB. If you have to pick someone, who you got?
Oh, man, this is a tough one. I was talking a little bit about before we started this race about it. I don't know, I just got a good feeling about Andrew Harris tonight. You know, these mile-and-a-half tracks, usually he's pretty quick. It's a good-looking black and pink truck he's got down there. Andrew Harris is my pick this evening.
Well, my initial pick, I'm going to change it up right now. My initial pick was going to be the 46 Dalton McKinney. I think he's starting a little deep in the field for that right now. He's starting down 19th. I'm going to go up the running order a little bit, and I say Ben Park snaps a little bit of a winless streak here, gets himself a win in that 17 machine.
I like that one. I like that one a lot, actually.
Well, here we go. 36 Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series vehicles getting ready for battle here in Miami. The iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety down in the pit lane. The field in the hands of Drake Carty. Green flag is in the air. We're racing from Homestead, Miami. Oh, truck sideways, and we've got a big one already in turns 1 and 2, JB.
Yeah, something in the middle of the corner happened. I'm trying to back it up to see what happened, but that's a large amount of trucks involved in this one early. Looks like it started somewhere around that backside of the top 10 area that I was watching, somewhere right around where we were just talking about Ben Park.
Well, we're gonna see here with a little bit of a wide shot to try to deduce which truck gets into
Yeah,
one another, who goes around
watch
here.
Ben here on the outside and Speed there on the inside. They simultaneously just get sideways.
Cal Speed's there. It's
Yeah,
sideways.
and you see Ben doing the same thing, and that's what fired that off. I think they just got loose in the corner.
You see the two, a
You know,
baller, get hit as well, and
yeah,
it's on from there.
it's
This is
on
all at the front of the
exactly.
field, JB.
A considerable amount of damage on a lot of these trucks, unfortunately. I mean, they weren't all up to speed yet, so some of the damage might not be bad. Ben Park is the only one I'm seeing that's missing body panels. It looks like, unfortunately, everybody else looks to be okay. But I'm wondering, Emerson, if that's just a product of those guys being in an aero situation they weren't familiar with. You know, we have those 50 minutes of practice, but you know, how much of that time do you spend just trying to do qualifying laps and just rip a quick one off, or how many of those do you actually, you know, tuck yourself in behind 3 or 4 trucks to see what the handling is like? Because what it looks like when we got to the, you know, halfway between turns 1 and 2, the 17 and the 36 just lost the handle on it, which, I mean, 2 of our most capable drivers in the field, so it's kind of shocking to see, actually.
A lot of damaged trucks sitting here in pit lane. But you're right, JB. How many times do you in practice, you know, go up, get up to speed on the other end of the track? And you know what I'm saying? When you come off a pit lane, which is where you know normally come off of the or enter the track for practice, you're coming off of turn 2. Not many people are trying to, you know, from the turn 4 end, getting up through the gears and in a pack of trucks to see how the truck will respond.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. You know, I always usually started my practice sessions with, you know, a couple minutes of running some qualifying laps, mostly because there weren't that many trucks in the session yet, and you had some clear track, and you could kind of make that happen. Then I'd run kind of a couple longer runs there in the middle, and then, you know, make sure I was really sharp in qualifying there at the very end. But you bring up a good point. You're always ripping it into turn 1 at full song,
Right.
off the pit lane, and so you might just not have that feel because this track is an exact oval, but the actual corners have so much character to them.
Oh yeah.
With the bumps and the seams and all that does make a difference. So, you know, that could be a part of what happened, you know. But even though we had a lot of trucks that registered some bumps and bruises there, we didn't see a lot of big damage on pit road. I think a lot of guys, you know, they might have a few incident points already, but they don't seem too worse for wear yet.
Looks like everyone should be okay. I think we're gonna have maybe a couple trucks stuck a lap down. Actually, from the looks of it, JB, looks like we're gonna have about 7 trucks stuck a lap down. But plenty of time for that to, you know, be fixed. I know 95 laps is a short race, but a lot can happen in these 95 laps. And what could happen could start off once again with Drake Carty and Jeffrey Radke on the front row as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety down the pit lane. It's Drake Carty leading us back to green. We'll try it again from Miami. Through turns 1 and 2 we go. Looks like the field is intact. We'll try it now through 3 and 4 for the first time at full song.
You can see already everybody trying to hunt a little bit of clean air, stick their nose somewhere where the truck in front of them is not, and that just shows you part of the multi-groove racing, and that's only going to get more exemplified as we get through this run.
Battle here for second already. Shane Wolf, Andrew Harris.
It's interesting to see, you know, what guys are trying to do here. Shane Wolf has been kind of committed to the top since the restart. Usually not the best option for tire conservation, but the best for overall fire off speed. Harris is a little on defense there on the entry.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it's going to hurt him too bad. And that's not going to be the first truck we see do that tonight. That's going to happen quite a bit.
Jason Green in that 55 machine up into P5, looking to kind of kickstart his season here. Needing Hasn't gotten a, golden result yet, but, up inside the top 5 early could try to do that tonight.
Yep, one of our drivers who, when he gets hot, man, he can start firing them off.
Yeah.
So, really start to pay attention to some of those guys, and Jason Green is definitely one of them.
So right now, JB in the early going, looks like everyone fights for the bottom, but as the run goes on, we could see drivers migrate towards the top.
Yeah, I believe that's an entire conservation effort, is why they're doing that. That was always where I found success, was running right against the line. The first 10 or 12 laps of a run, just getting some heat in the tires, not trying to do anything crazy. Didn't want to give up too many positions.
Ooh.
Track position makes a difference. Tight race in there.
Greathouse was a little sideways coming off the corner.
You'll see, Emerson, probably in about 8 to 10 laps from now, you'll start to see the difference on which of those driver types are really good at saving tire and can just do it naturally, and who struggles with it. Because you'll start to see the speeds kind of flip. And if we get in the long run, that could make a big difference.
Absolutely. We're watching right now Matthew Greathouse, who's just cleared by 7th place driver in points, David Flanagan. Having a quiet start to his season. We don't really mention Flanagan all that much, but he's been, breaking out those results, keeping him way up there in the point standings. Looks like Greathouse gets the apron. Here goes Flanagan.
Yeah, like you said, Flanagan kind of quiet start to the year. We haven't talked about him too much, but he's 7th in points, so he's doing something right. So
yeah,
that 5 truck, off to a pretty nice start here this evening, racing inside the top 10. Trying to keep that points position way up. There you go, Emerson. That's a really good view right there. The different lines to the corner.
Yeah.
You get one in the bottom, one in the middle, one on the top. Not quite all the way up. We'll see him get close to the wall, but Wally Babb was quite a few lanes up there. And you see all those stripes on the wall. That's Darlington has the Darlington stripe. Miami has its own version of that, the Miami stripe. If you watch the Cup Series race this past week, you saw drivers like Larson and Reddick. They just do such a good job of just leaning on that air cushion they build up against the wall. And you can make a lot of speed. In the sim, you got to be a little careful because it's not necessarily a hard wall to not wall relationship, because the sim will try to pull you into it sometimes, but you can still make a lot of speed up.
100%. Well, you even saw, even in Reddick's burnouts, when he spun around, and you saw the other side was a little scuffed. He got up there a couple times.
Yeah, he shaved a few millimeters off the side of that. Could definitely wore through the whole wrap that was on it, maybe even a little bit deeper. But you're going to get into it a little bit. You're just hoping it doesn't suck you in, and that's the penalty you pay here on the sim, is those walls can get really sticky. Just with the physics and the way the internet kind of thinks contact works, it can suck you into the wall and not let you go, and that'll cost you a lot of speed. But you're always hoping that if you get up against it, you kind of just brush it a little bit, and you live to fight another day. Good battle here for second.
Yeah, Shane Wolf and Radke. Now Radke has overtaken Andrew Harris. Harris is keeping
a truck in the inside wall on the front stretch. I think that might be Siegfried or Tallman that got on the inside wall.
Stay green.
15 of Siegfried. Doesn't look like he's got too much damage though, so he's gonna get that thing gathered back up. Yeah, just a little bit there on the left front.
A little bit. But
not too
there's
bad.
not a whole lot of room for error on that front straightaway. We stay green. He was off the racing surface. I was just about to mention Andrew Harris was staying glued to that bottom lane, JB, but he got past Radke and now moves up. So Andrew Harris was able to find something. Now we did see before we cut away to Joshua Siegfried that Radke did catch the wall entering turn 1.
And the other thing that we kind of got to think about in this, do I run top or bottom, is Aiden King having some trouble here. The bottom is the shorter way around. You'll save some tire. You can still run decent times down there, but you're not going to really be able to pass down there. You're going to have to try to pass people on the top, get to their right rear quarter. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. Looks like a little bit of left side damage there to the 90 truck.
Zachary Tallman, there. So we'll see Kyle Spees and Jason Green do battle for the 5th position. And just a few laps ago, JB, less than 10 laps ago, the whole field was on the inside lane, and now everyone is migrated up.
Imagine that. I'm looking up front a little bit. I'm just monitoring the times here because we're looking at the backside of the top 5 here. Last time by Drake Carty ran a 33.565. Second place, Shane Wolf ran a 33.33. So a little bit quicker than that 59 maybe. But then I scanned further back in the field. The fastest lap on the track right now is actually Kyle Spees, ran a 33.487 last time by. So one of our drivers that we know does a really good job of saving his stuff, Kyle Spees. Kind of already making it known that he's doing that. He's making up some good time.
And you see him back there. You see 3 trucks on the Highland, the only one on the bottom who's still running those good lap times. As you mentioned, JB, is Kyle Spees in that 36 machine.
And right now is where we start to see the difference in lap times based on how guys can run. You know, can they maintain what they have been? Have they managed their tires well? Or maybe Cardi, what he tried to do was, I'm going to burn up what I have and just try to run out to a big lead and let them catch me. But then there's some guys who kind of maybe drifted back after that restart, and they're going to start coming up through the field, and that's kind of what I'm seeing out of this 36. He gave up a few spots there to kind of lay back for a second, but he's cooking off some pretty good lap times right now. So,
well, right in front, big battle, a little bit of a bump right there. Andrew Harris to the back end of Jeffrey Radke.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're just being held. Oh, Radke gets the fence a little bit there.
Little physical these boys are early.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're on lap 18. I realize 95 is a short race for a mile and a half, but wow, that's going to give Kyle Speed the option here to pass Harris on the inside. We'll see if he's able to do it down to 3.
There he goes, and Shane Wolf goes all the way down to the bottom to defend as well in that 14 machine.
And that's just a good view of the run that you get on the top, man. You can't defend it. I mean, if you're running all the way on the bottom, there's very little you can do. Yep. You can try the whole slide job, but you're putting a lot of faith in the guy on the outside to maybe cut you a break on corner exit. We don't always see that be the case. So.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Cropper by Radke.
Radke down low, a little bit of contact between Green and Spees behind. Radke shipping, ascend into turn 3. He'll make it stick. Shane will big run through the center of the corner. He'll go for the bottom. No stalemate off the corner.
That's what Radke was trying to do, though. He was trying to shuffle the 14 out of line to be able to get to the outside because he knows he's going to be able to complete the pass on the outside. Advantage 3 truck coming off turn 2.
Sideways the 14.
Loose. Yeah, we almost saw his door number.
Yeah.
The other side of the door that we didn't really want to see there for a second. Yeah, I think he's just battling with that truck right now. Trying to get some grip in the rear. Cunningham, by the way, reporting now on pit road. Not sure what happened to Connor. He's had a couple rough weeks here, but apparently trying to get some things fixed on pit road.
Yeah, there he is.
Don't see a ton of damage. There could be a hardware issue, something along those lines. Always something you do have to think about here on the service. Tightening up, though, behind Shane Wolf. He's kind of bunched these boys up. They're kind of all nose to tail.
Yeah, Shane Wolf running the high lane. You see Ben parked down the apron. He had that damage in that lap 1 incident. Ooh, Harris just sneaks in behind the 14, and Green looks to take advantage of it. And now also joining the fight, JB, is the 47 of Lane Doyle.
Well, we couldn't go far tonight without talking about Lane Doyle, I guess, could we? He's points leader, been off to a solid. Emerson, you were saying before the race started, he's been killing it in points, and here he comes.
By the way, up front, Jeffrey Radke, he is eating the lead that Drake Carty has.
If you've been watching the pylon, he's cut 4/10 off the last 3 laps.
He's a coming.
He is. And I was kind of thinking that, you know, once Radke got clear of those guys right behind him, he was going to really make up some time because Radke's one of the best at getting up near that wall and just ripping it. I mean, we've seen that for how long now, Emerson and SRN?
3 wide for 3rd.
Shane Wolf stuck in the middle. He's going to be clear now to the bottom. We'll just have to deal with Andrew Harris all the way up top.
Sorry to cut you off, JB. I saw that. I'm like, oh, baby.
I mean, rightfully so. We got the pink trucks back out here tonight.
Yep.
Because we're looking at Lane Doyle and Andrew Harris in the same frame again.
One last week of them.
One last week. Hey, but coming up after our off week, Emerson, we have the Salute to Service week.
Yes, sir. We
get to see all the patriotic paint schemes for the Pocono race, which is always one of my favorites because these teams do a fantastic job on the paints.
Perfect time for them with Election Day and Veterans Day coming up. Good time to feel patriotic.
Yep, exactly. The lead is shrinking more and more.
That it has.
We're down to 3/4 of a second now. And Cardi, what's interesting, he's still committed to the bottom. So that could just be where he's comfortable, maybe where that truck's comfortable. But, man, Radke, like I said before we looked at that battle, one of the best at ripping the fence, and he is just getting after it right
Cardi gives it a go. I think he finally saw that relative showing something less than a second, but will Drake Cardi be able to respond up here? Meanwhile, battle here, Doyle and Shane Wolf, as Kyle Spees pits from the top 10.
Interesting.
Now this one's an early stop. Right, if you were to split
Now,
this one into thirds, JB, what are you looking at? You know, you're looking at 31, 32 to the pit lap, so this one's early.
You know, we've had a history here, Emerson, of Speed Racing Network Homestead races where long green flag runs can take over a race and stretch it out, and he could be thinking long term here. That's a bold strategy, but you know what? We've seen the Speeds do this before, and how many times has he been right?
A
majority of them.
Yeah, it'd be Kyle Spees.
Yeah, exactly. If somebody's going to try it, it's going to be Speeds, and he's probably going to figure it out. Just the way he races. But back up front, Cardi, man, it's getting close to almost 1/4 of a second. We're getting down to it. Radke continuing to eat up, and now that we get him in the same frame.
Yeah. I mean, Radke is there. He is now. What Radke's contending with, JB, is dirty air.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe the internet's playing some tricks on us.
Looks like he survives, but yeah, here goes Radke closing the gap.
He's gonna put a lot of pressure on Drake. See how this works on corner exit. That's what Radke's been really good at this run, is keeping the momentum all the way off the corner.
Big send.
Yeah, dives it all the way to the bottom. Hardy's going to have position on corner exit and the run. Pull
Big
back out
run.
on a little bit. Meanwhile, Jason Green has cleared himself to third, and he's separated himself now a little bit from those guys. You see him right there in the back of this battle. Radke is wheeling that thing right now.
Yeah, he saw that.
And you see how he's a little bit closer to the wall than Cardi. And you know, Emerson, running the fence and just running a lane off, those are two completely different things. So I think Radke's just taking more advantage of actually running the top.
Trying to, but right there, JB, he's hit this kind of wall. Either he's at the end of his tire life because we're about to hit pit stops, or it's that dirty air really affecting what Radke can do.
Yeah. And I was wondering with the lap count, you know,
Cardi gets the wall.
The wall there.
Big run.
By the 3, does a good job drafting up to him. He's going to pull him back with the little side draft. He's going to need a really good entry into 3 here to clear him, and he's going to try to slide up in front of him.
Big send. Can he make it stick?
Clear of him right now. He's going to have to slide up a 4-corner exit. Hardy's definitely going to try to cross over. Wow, no, really good exit.
No response from the 59. Jeffrey Radke takes the lead. Here goes Cardi once again. This is the first time Drake Cardi has lost the lead under green on the racetrack since Watkins Glen.
Yeah. Wow.
We're
talking, making a statement here.
We're talking 14, 15 days ago. It's the last time Drake Cardi lost the lead on the racetrack.
And Jason Green's coming too. I don't know if you noticed that time delta, Emerson. He's now a second back of Radke. So Green's got a little bit of something. But as I was saying just a second ago, with this lap count, I think on fuel you can make it on one stop, but I don't think tire-wise you're going to want to make it on one stop. Because we're currently at this point in the run, 2 seconds of fall off.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, Kyle Spees with that early pit stop, how big will that play a factor later?
Oh, when this cycles, you're going to see him way out there, but I mean, everybody's going to slowly reel him back in. I got to say, Emerson, even though you can make it with one on fuel, I kind of like the idea of Speed just taking tires and always being on offense. You never have to play defense.
Always being on offense, never, experiencing this massive tire fall off, right? The second that he loses his tire advantage, I'm sure he'll be probably thinking about coming back to pit road to get that advantage back. And we'll just see how the maths out.
Yeah, 100%. There's a few lap trucks up in front of Radke, being the 15. One other, can't tell who that other truck is, so that might come into play here because these guys are still tight. And Jason Green now under second back. There's those 2 lappers.
Connor's up there, 16 laps down, but rejoins the racetrack on fresh tires. And this is Kyle Spees, a lap
Trying to
down.
unlap himself. Yep.
Yep.
And you're going to see here just the sheer difference in tires. I mean, this isn't going to take long here.
Into turn 3, Kyle Spees is going to blow right by.
Yeah.
Look at this. See you later.
Yeah. Top, bottom, it don't matter. I mean, look at that. He's half a corner in front of him.
Oh my, he's gone.
Oh, we got a caution.
Uh-oh, yellow.
Side or Sean Long.
But you know what? Look at that timing for Kyle Spees to unlap himself.
Well, this makes it interesting from here because this you can't make it from here now on tires, so or fuel. So interesting. Yeah, something happened in the back. You saw a side door there on the inside.
Here we go. Let's see what happened. 84 loose, clips to 86 wall.
Yeah, just those 2 involved. It looks like.
Whoa!
Oh, whoa! Is that Dan Park in the 7?
Yeah, good avoidance from Dan.
Wow. Yeah, we might have to check that one out. I feel like we had one of those replays every week, which maybe not a good thing.
I mean, I guess good practice if it happens that
yeah.
often.
Luckily, neither of those trucks hit really hard, so I think they're both going to be okay. This is going to be a great view right here. Just how quickly things can just pop up in front of your windshield. Oh my goodness! And you could tell he stood up on that gas.
Yeah.
They're trying to get right by it at the very, very end.
Oh, that fire suit is brown.
Yeah.
You're right, JB.
Not shocking development here, but pit road is a busy, 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 busy place.
Very much so. Very much so.
Adler stayed out here. I'm wondering if he's going to maybe try to take away and maybe get a lap back. Hope for a quick caution.
This is going to be interesting here, JB. Kyle Spees, you know, he has to stay out, right? But he's going to be 10 lap older tires.
He unlapped himself. He doesn't necessarily have to. But the thing you got to keep in mind is these drivers only get 3 sets. You know, they have the set they start on and then 3 sets in the pits. And so you definitely don't want to burn one here. Because, I don't think, whatever strategy you want to play, I still think you want to save one for the end in case you have a late race caution. That way you can just be on offense and pass as many trucks as possible. Hope somebody else didn't save an extra set. But 10 laps is going to be quite the difference there on the 36 for tires. See how that plays out.
That it will be. And we're going to take this opportunity here, JB, with a couple laps left of yellow to hear a quick message from our partners here at Speed Racing Network. So don't you guys go anywhere. We'll be right back.
What I'm about to do is something you never want to do, ever, period. But because I have top coat F11, I can. Watch this. Literally, black paint. I'm just wiping it dry. Come on, you can't beat that. You just can't beat that. That's top coat F11 for you.
Welcome, race fans, back to virtual Homestead Miami Speedway. Emerson Arden, Jonathan Byer in the virtual booth this evening for round 7 of season 7 of Speed Racing Network HairClub Truck Series action. The restart coming to you. It's Kyle Spees, Jeffrey Radke on the front row. Kyle Spees with 10 lap older tires than the rest of the field. We'll see how he holds on to the race lead here as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety in the pit lane. Green flag. Kyle Spees has got him coming from all sides, but right now he holds the lead. Drake Carty, Big Sen, fresh tires 59. Can he make it stick? Spees all the way up on the fence to no avail. Drake Carty back in the lead.
Yeah, we knew Spees was going to be in trouble here quickly. It's going to be interesting to see how far back he slides. I mean, the truck currently looks like it has a pretty decent pace, but obviously he's going to be fighting an uphill battle the rest of the way. But we restarted with 58 laps to go. Everybody's going to have to pit at least one more time. So there's options, though, Emerson, depending on how you want to split it up. We'll see what some of these guys decide. Carty now back out to the lead, but he's got to be thinking about what happened to him last time. Maybe try to do a little bit extra tire-saving effort here on this one.
Well, that lap he sure didn't, JB. He said the fastest lap on the night, 32.74 last time around for the 59 of Drake Carty.
That's,
big battle here.
That's what they call cooking.
Yeah, he's heating up the nighttime track for sure. And a battle here between Flanagan and Lane Doyle. This is for 9. This is the first side-by-side battle. Is everyone kind of singling it out here, JB? I think everyone's kind of playing the long game here. They understood that first run kind of started a little early. We had the lap 1 yellow, JB, but outside of that, it's been green.
Yeah, and like we saw early in the last run, everybody kind of hunts the bottom, and then you flip a switch, and they're all up at the top. So we're kind of seeing that same effect right here. Now I said they're gonna have to stop one more time, and there is a possibility if you save fuel from the jump, you could make it. However, I think you'd just be rolling so slowly at the end on tires. I don't think you'd be able to make it happen. But you know what? Some of these guys in the back that know that they're not going to be able to win it on speed tonight, they might take that.
Maybe a damaged truck. Why not? You're already damaged.
Yeah, 100%.
Kyle Spees, despite the tire disadvantage, massive tire disadvantage, JB, still P3, fending off one of the hardest chargers in Andrew Harris. And Harris is going to have a good, clean go at it here, but Kyle Spees, he might be able to make a certain number and not be in too bad of a spot here to still try another short pit.
And you think everybody behind him is not thinking, they see, okay, for a couple laps, 10 lap older tires doesn't look too bad. So if we get a late race caution, maybe there's some options there if you're, recently off pit road or something like that to try to better your finish. So that's what makes a good driver a great driver, is the ability to notice those details and flows throughout the race and race strategy. That way they've had their notebook and they have all the answers when it comes down to it.
And not that, obviously, fresh tires is always going to be king. But not that it shuts it out, but it kind of lessens the argument of saving a set. Now, of course, it's Kyle Speed, one of the best in the series. But seeing that he's on 10 lap older tires, these fresh tires are having to do some work to get around him.
Yeah, exactly. And now he's not, being able to run the bottom.
Oh, and the wall Speeds nearly gets Godinez.
It looks like he just ran him a little tight off the corner and just ran out of room there. Good heads up driving by the 22 there to not get involved in that. That's Aiden King in the 22.
22 scored as the 90.
Yes, he is, because that's what the truck he drove last week. Not updated, but Aiden King he's the substitute driver for DG Motorsports, kind of jumps in whatever truck they need. Austin DeLong not here tonight, so Aiden King in that 22.
Oh, that'll make sense.
Yes. It's nice when you have a lot of substitutes, but when they change numbers. It's all good, though. And we love having the teams here and the ability to field a full team no matter what. Sometimes you have to call upon those substitute drivers. And they've done a great job. Aiden's done a great job in the races he's run so far.
So in that first run, JB, Drake Carty opened up a second and a half thereabouts of a lead. This run, Jason Green is in his tire tracks. He hasn't broken more than 2.5, maybe 3/10 away from this 55 machine.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. That lead happening. Emerson, Jason Green is on it right now, and I talked about him pre-race when we were talking. You know, a driver who mile and a half, man, he can pick him up and put him down. He kind of waits for the race to come to him, and that's why we see him so effective at the end of these races. But he's put himself in a nice spot with track position here as far as where he's at right now, kind of just stalking that leader.
Radke clears by.
Kyle Spies hitting.
You know what, JB? He pitted on lap 24. This time he pits on lap 48. Is his last pit stop on lap 72? Because this is a 95 lap race. One more would be 96.
Yeah, you know, he knows he can make it from here, so maybe just
does he pit
get the
from
pit
here
stop
to
out of the way? You know what? What I'm thinking here is it plays out two ways for him. He gets the pit stop out of the way now, not a lot of traffic getting on and off pit road. He can come back out on the racetrack, get some clean track, knock off a few laps, help his time down, because he was losing a lot of time with older tires there. But he's also set himself up if we have a late race caution. He's going to cycle out probably pretty decent because he's going to eat up a lot of time here in the middle of this run. And if he's got that extra set down there, I think he's going to be all right. So he's kind of leaving his strategy open. I do agree. I don't know if he could have run that much longer and keep giving him track position.
He had fallen down to 7th before the pit stop. So I think it was time for him to come down. But he pitted on 24 and 48. So my next lap pit for Kyle Spies would be 72.
We'll see. We'll see if he decides to pit again or run it out, but at least he's giving himself options right now.
100%. Lane Doyle, 47 machine, working on the 22 of Aiden King. Pretty wide back there. It's McDinger's Cotton Candy 46 machine, top of 3 over here.
Yeah, we haven't talked a lot about Dalton McKinney tonight because he kind of started deeper in the field, but he's back here just trying to make do with what he's got, and that it's a very Homestead-ish truck.
Yeah,
the paint,
the Miami
paint
colors.
That's on almost matches the wall, pretty closely. So, just kind of making his way up through here, keeping that truck clean.
He was 3 with Carl Bond and Bo Brady. Bo Brady and Bush truck. Boosh.
Can't miss it with the bright orange all over it on there. I gotta say, some of these paint schemes easy to find, and we like that. We commend the drivers, the team for doing that.
These two trucks look pretty similar.
Oh,
Andrew Harris. What a slide and what a save from the 87.
Hey, oh my, that truck was wrecked.
Oh, everyone saw his driver's door. Everyone saw his window net behind.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my. You know what? That's Andrew Harris. He'll be that aggressor. He'll make that move, but you know what? He's got the car control, or the truck control, if you will, to save a big shove here. 87 to Aiden King. Hello.
Yeah. And him getting backed up kind of just jumbled all this up right here. Got them all stacked together.
Wow. By the way, Aiden King.
That was a tight move by Aiden King.
That was the
He couldn't
elevator.
have fit anything else in there.
Man, he just went from the 3rd floor to the basement parking garage with that move.
Yeah. And 74 there or not, I ain't committed to that. He's going to try to slide, Andrew. Oh, boy.
It's getting physical.
Man, 40. You wouldn't think we have 40 laps left with how this is looking, but these guys are scrapping for every inch right now.
Everyone leaving it all on the track. Sean Corcoran, by the way, having a fantastic day. He started P20. He's up in 8th. By the way, 2 trucks behind him. Justin Smith started 30th. That truck was upside down in practice.
Yeah, we saw a few practice
Yeah.
moments for a couple of these drivers, and he definitely had one of them. Some drivers really starting to struggle on corner exit. You're just seeing them not be able to put the power down off the corner.
Got a big pack of trucks. Now, the first run, this part of the field, JB, was very spread out. Now, this run, yeah, there he is, yeah, right in the thick of it.
He's going to cut and try to slice and dice through these guys as quickly as possible. But they also have to be paying attention to know he's on fresh tires, because the closing rates are really, really quick.
Somebody's coming in, Jason Kratke.
All right.
I think this is the final stop for the 54, I'd imagine. He'll have 38 to go on the return to racing surface.
We're still not quite to that point where you'd be splitting this last run in half. We still have about 7 or so laps before that point, but you know what? Get on pit road while it's not busy. Sometimes that has its advantages.
Yeah. Less traffic, less chance of mistake, less distractions. Also in, Daniel Baldler, talking to him before the race.
Yeah.
Wasn't very confident in his
ability, but that's okay.
Tonight.
You know, he's been off for a couple weeks, so maybe a little rusty, but he's getting back. He's getting back into it.
Kyle Spees he clears what would be the pass cleared for 6th, but he is a lap off the pace as a result of the pit stop. Drake Carty still leads now, opens up 7/10. He's tripled the gap he had on Jason Green, but Jeffrey Radke is closing the gap.
Yeah, not quite the lead we saw from before. Still definitely within reach, but this is at that same point in the run where we saw these, you know, we saw the 3 truck really start to rip them off. So I think what's happening here, you know, you look at the last time, Drake Carty last time by 34.36. He's about to hit the line here, 34.45 rather. Jeffrey Radke last time by 34.24. So Radke definitely closing that gap. Vickery now. On
the other Jeffrey, 51, hits the pit lane.
Yep. He's had a pretty solid run tonight. Nice, quiet, minding his own P's and Q's, and we got more of a mess with these guys again.
Oh, I feel like these guys are troublemakers every week.
You know, naturally they just find themselves around each other on the racetrack a lot. You know, there were, when I had my team, I remember we got in some scuffles with other teams because we just raced a lot.
Yeah.
Right around each other.
That's how it is.
Product of it. Wow, Radke's, he's just like that last run, man. He is just on it right now. We get late in this run and he gets comfortable and he just rips the top. I mean, he was 0.2 faster than the leader last time by. That was battling for 55, so that's only going to get bigger. So he might be one that wants to run this a little bit long. You know, he knows he's got that pace up a little bit longer. Oh, yeah, exactly. Already starting to get a little loose off the corner. Watched him last time by. He had the tail of that truck almost in the fence. Nose was
there it is.
The bottom of the racetrack. Yeah.
Jump on board. He's in the fence.
Yeah.
Oh, Radke as well. That time that wasn't a lag.
No, it's the price you pay sometimes running that line. I mean, it's quicker, but you know, at what cost?
Oh, Radke. He nailed that line that time. When you can hit it just right, it's satisfying and it rips, but just a little overstep, and you'll be paying for it. Here comes Kyle Spees. Dalton McKinney and the McDingers cotton candy truck.
Yep. So now we're right around that point where within the next 5 laps, this would be the splitting in half zone. I think we're going to see a large majority of trucks on pit road within the next 5 laps or so, but you don't have to come to pit road for about another 20 if you really wanted to stay out that long. I don't think we're going to see anybody do that. If anybody, we're going to see Radke because he's got the best long run speed. Look at this difference right here, though. I mean, that's what tires will do for you.
Great Cardio race leader side by side with Lapper Kyle Spies. Clip that one. We won't say that one much this year.
Yeah. It's in strategy passing only.
Yep.
Are we probably going to be saying those words?
Kyle Spies clears himself back onto the lead lap. Much needed pass for this 36 truck to keep his race afloat. Should something happen like this, goodness gracious!
Oh my god! We're almost 4 wide there for a second.
Yeah.
A lot better at that, which was probably a good thing.
Oh my goodness, man!
Man, that's
This is
give each other
everyone.
an inch. It doesn't matter who they are.
Yeah.
I mean,
Vickery, Smith, Kyle Johnson, Bo Brady, Aiden King, Wally
You hear it all
Bass,
the
Scott
time.
Kalal.
You talk-
Oh,
talk to the
Jeffrey
NASCAR driver.
Radke.
Radke's in. Okay.
that's the one
Okay.
we thought would wait.
Maybe 30 was his magic number. And he just knew, hey, 30 to go. I'm coming in. I'm strapping a set on, and I'm rolling with it.
Whatever happens,
And
happens.
maybe the other thought that kind of crosses my mind is, hey, if he pits a couple laps before the 59, he might be able to get ahead of him.
Oh yeah,
And then the 59's got to pass him.
he's got to chase
You
him
know,
down,
and
wear out his stuff to
exactly.
pass him.
Exactly.
Here
So
comes
I agree
Green
there.
and Doyle.
A couple more coming down.
Oh,
So far,
baby.
so far, no penalties, nothing like that. Everybody's been on and off the pits pretty clean, but a couple of those guys trying to maximize their entry,
Yeah.
for sure.
I don't want to be that guy. Last year, somebody hit that pit attenuator, so trying to see if we
I
don't
think
get
that
that
happens
this
every
year.
year, unfortunately. Hey, Kyle Larson did it in real life, so
And he's a
you
champion,
don't feel so
so-
bad. He's one of the best drivers in the
Yep.
world, so it happens.
So here's something interesting. Kyle Spies is coming off of turn 4. Radke just came off the pit lane, and he's coming off of turn 4 right now. So that's that gap. Now Flanagan and Corcoran come in. And the leader,
that's
Drake
coming
Carty.
as well.
Now, I think Drake is making his bed. He's going to have the freshest tires
At the end.
after this. Yeah.
You just, I mean, right now he's giving up a lot of time. I mean, he's giving up 2 seconds a lap.
Wally Babcock.
Can you make that up?
We know he's got the
Maybe.
short run pace,
Yeah.
but is it enough?
But you also have to factor in, he's going to have to pass trucks now.
Yes.
He hasn't had to
Which
do that
wears
much
out your tires more.
Yeah. You know, Radke, those guys have been passing trucks all night. They have the formula down. They know how to set somebody up. They know where to get on the side draft. You haven't been doing that all night. That can be a hard thing to accomplish. Justin Smith now coming down.
Yep.
So the top 10, it looks like, still yet to make their pit stop. Nobody else has been down.
I think top 13 is
13?
the exact number.
All right.
Plus Kyle Spies would be 14th after this
Yes.
pass. So what are we counting Kyle Spies here? As Dylan Godinez pits from second. Oh, nearly spinning that one out.
Yeah. Radke unlaps himself. That's important. Just in case we get a yellow, we have that out of the way.
Radke's chasing down Kyle Spies, by the way. As he should. He's got like 20 lap fresher tires, I believe. But,
Yep.
I mean, he is hunting him down.
Yeah, he's clicking off some times too. Radke's not wasting any time. He knows that the 59's still out there, and he needs to just start getting after it. Because when this cycle's out now, that'll put Radke back in the lead, because that's Kyle. So.
Kyle Johnson hits. This is Talladega race winner.
Yep. Had another good run this evening, just kind of quietly minding his business there in the mid-pack. Clean truck, doing everything he can. Andrew Harris, Bo Brady, Matthew Rittenhouse, Chris Luttrell, Daniel Park, Joe Ruggles, Shane Wolf,
Leaders
Siegfried
in.
Long.
Oh, leader
Oh.
sideways!
I don't know, that could be speeding. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see, I guess.
We'll
but
see. New leader, Andrew
Wow.
Harris. I'm trying to figure out what the play here is for Kyle Spies, who's just got passed on track by Jeffrey Radke. So the new theoretical leader is Jeffrey Radke. There's Drake Carty.
Yeah, I mean, when this cycle's out, you're going to really get to see
Oh, well, here we go.
where
Look at
those
this.
tires made your advantage.
Radke's
Yeah, I
passing
mean,
Carty now. Carty's
Carty's-
just leaving.
oh, man. See, that's the 2 seconds a lap.
Oh, yeah.
It adds up. I mean, I don't know how many laps that was exactly, but you know, on track now, that's going to be 12 to 16 seconds back.
It's a big gap.
And that's a tall ask from the driver of the 59 to make up that much time. I don't care how fresh your tires are.
Oh, Brady!
Oh.
Scares himself with a little boosh.
Yeah, I think that's going to cost him a few spots at least. But then what's the play for Andrew Harris? You know, he's still out there on track. Is he
he's
hoping
hoping
for
a
a
yellow
caution?
now.
And you know, this isn't like the Cup Series where wheels fall off after pit stops. And you can't rely on that being your caution, so you got to find other ways to make it happen.
Here we go. Jeffrey Radke enters turn 3, and Carty comes off of turn 2.
Yeah.
Daytona race winner Chris Luttrell is P4 right now. Dan Park, P3.
Park choosing to run it long as well. I just wonder, you know, those are teammates we're talking about between Park and Harris. I just wonder if they have their own plan here. Yeah, I joked about making it. I'm not going to put it past them, but I don't know.
That would be a team that would try it.
Oh,
you know what? Listen. He's trying, Andrew Harris. Pounding the wall down doesn't help, but
Yeah,
let's ride on board. Let's watch the RPMs here.
But you got to think, Radke's only 19 seconds back, so I mean, this
has to be an endeavor that doesn't take a second a lap out of your gap.
Yeah. Now, however,
which
we get
it
a
just took a second right
three
there.
catches them.
Yes.
Then it works. So
look at that.
Still.
What's the idle on these trucks? 1180?
Something like that.
1300, something like that. There you are.
I don't drive them enough anymore to tell you, unfortunately. But
yeah. So I think the pit cycle for the time being has played out, and I think we're at the point now where the top 9 have chosen to not pit during the green flag run, and Jeffrey Radke is the first driver who has pitted. Now he's making his way through.
In case you were curious, last time by...
What is going on back here? Jason Kratke getting physical with David Flanagan. Yeah.
I don't know what all that was about. Interesting. We'll see if anything comes about that. But I was saying last time by, I was looking at Carty's time, and I was looking at Radke's time. Yeah, Radke's time. We were talking about Jason Kratke there. And it was only 0.6 of a second difference. That's not enough to make up
that big
a lot
gap.
of time. That big of a gap at 18 laps, unfortunately.
Yeah, they'll need one of those magic yellow cloths to fly from the sky near the starter stand for something.
And that goes to show you, running long isn't always the answer. You know, it seems like the easy thing to do, and teams have success sometimes, but you can be bitten by the other side of that, which is just purely the time delta you lose. So I think that might be what ends up biting Drake Carty on what had been a fantastic night to this point.
I'm sorry, looking here, I don't know what the play here for Spees is. I think his is a little wash without a yellow.
Well, we know he can make it, but he's obviously not where he was running. Yep. So maybe he realized, John realizing, I can't make it from here. I mean, Harris last time by, his last lap was a 35.18. Radke's last lap,
33.6.
Yeah. So
it's a second and a half a lap.
It's not going to take long here. You know, it's probably going to be about, I'd say, Emerson, 8 to 10 laps.
Yeah.
He's going to be there.
Oh, and that's another thing. Not everyone on the track knows you're saving fuel.
Yep.
Andrew Harris almost got scared by the Bush truck.
Now, the other
I'm having fun with that one.
Yeah, I know you are. I am too. Radke, he's not going to be able to run that pace the whole time.
This is true.
His tires are going to fall off a little bit too. So, does he start catching him slower? I don't know, but man, he is. We've seen some good strategy races in SRN, but this is shaking up to be one of the best.
And all these
There's
trucks,
so many different options out there.
All these top 5 trucks are silent into the corner, by the way. If you can hear the top 2 silent, I couldn't tell if Dan Parks was silent, but I know, for sure Harris and Greathouse, their trucks were silent.
Honestly, I think the only people this could work for, just because of where they're at on track, is Harris and Greathouse, because they're far enough in front of Radke that, depending on when he catches them,
Yeah, Dan Park
you know,
is
but like
not
everybody
saving.
else, I think they're just too close.
James Shane Wolf is still giving it a try, though. Good old hearty
Yeah.
try. But,
And how far do they make the pass on Radke? Does that hold him up? Because if you hold him up at all, that's just going to help these front guys. I think
You
Shane
know
Wolf is gonna
what?
do the gentleman's thing and let him go. But
you know, Dan Park might be tasked to do that. Make it harder for Jeffrey Radke. Because Dan Park isn't saving gas. But,
yeah, and his teammates up there leading the race.
yeah, I was going to say,
Do
yeah.
they
but
want a
his
team win, or does Dan Park want a good points day? I mean, what do you pick?
We'll find out here in about 2.5 seconds.
Lane Doyle and Joe Ruggles got into a little incident on track just a few seconds ago, but they seem to be still pointing the right direction, so we continue on.
Oh, no,
Saw
Joe.
a little smoke come from that. Yeah, Joe Ruggles had a rough couple weeks there, but having a good run tonight inside the top 20 for Joe. You're looking up.
Drake Carty and his chances to three-peat slowly dwindling away. Right now running 10th. There's Jeffrey Radke, the theoretical race leader, but running 5th, 6.5 seconds back, 12 laps to go, and maybe some teammates looking to play a little factor here in the case for Andrew Harris, who still has a 3-second lead, by the way, in his own race.
Okay, last lap, 35 flat for Andrew Harris, so he's picked up the pace a little bit. Jeffrey Radke, 34 flat.
Right.
That's a second a lap, and right now there's a 6-second difference, so I think with about 5 or 6 to go, that's going to be the crossing point.
Dan Park here, can he do anything? Can he slow this pace up any? This is going to be the key for Andrew Harris.
You know, I'm not going to say we're going to go green the rest of the way, but if something happens and it's not a flag that is the colored green that comes out, I'm not going to say it, but if that's what happens, Andrew Harris looks like the smartest guy in the room, but we'll see what happens here.
We'll see here. Dan Park, the next option, or the next menu
like
item.
He's going to try to hold him up.
Yeah, not
and
too
just let
much
him
of
go.
an.
You know, and because of where Dan Park was running on track, I
Yeah.
think this is still going to work out for him as far as where he's going to finish. I don't think he would have finished where he is if he's able to make it to the end. We'll see what happens. And that, you know, some guys are playing that strategy too. I mean, we talk about Harris because he was running up front anyway, but some of these other guys, they're just trying to improve their finishing position.
Yeah.
You know, they'd rather finish 10th and have nothing left in the tank of the checkered flag than finish 21st.
Jason Green gets by Daniel Park here. 3 wide. Hello.
Okay.
Godinez, Shane Wolf, and Carty.
We kind of forgot about Carty in the shuffle there for a minute, but he's coming. I just don't think he's going to have enough time. I think if this race was 10, 15 laps longer, I think we have a battle at the end of this thing, but I just think that's just too much distance to try to catch up.
Here we go
too
for
short a
second.
time.
Jeffrey Radke gets the pass on Matthew Greathouse.
And now Harris looks in his mirror and goes, well,
He's played all
I
his
need somebody
cards.
to do something stupid. Yeah, this is not what Harris wants to see, is Radke with clean track and 2.5 seconds back.
All Harris can do is hope that the dealer pulls something more than 21. About all. The only card Harris has left here.
Bodler up here, racing around with Harris. Bodler's on a little bit fresher stuff, so he's gonna get out of the way of this.
2 seconds
there he
the
is.
gap. Yep.
The gap right there. Yeah, and like we said, it's gonna be about 6 to go when we're gonna see this cross. Unfortunately for Harris, as aggressive driver as he is, I don't think he can do anything to hold up to 3.
Not a
I mean,
whole
there's
lot.
just too much.
Even if he has the fuel saved.
Yeah,
Tire
I mean,
life
it's
is
still
gonna
a
be-
second difference a lap. I think it's just still too much to try to defend. Now, if we were talking a couple tenths a lap, that's defendable. You know, with dirty air and stuff like that. But
That lap,
he's at a severe
35.
disadvantage.
35.4 for Harris. 34.6 for Radke. So it's 8/10 that last lap.
A little under a second.
More in Harris's favor, but not a lot.
Yeah, he's gonna need that to drop a ton if he's gonna try to keep the 3 behind him here. He was having a little bit of trouble with that lap truck there, trying to unlap himself. I'm not sure who that is, but that's holding him up a little bit.
The 84
Sean
there?
Long in the 84, yeah.
Who had
All
his own trouble with Michael Sidor earlier.
Back in the wall a little bit
Yeah,
there.
a little bit. Uh-oh.
I mean, he's still going to catch him.
Yeah.
But, it's not as quick as we thought, I would say. I'm thoroughly impressed with the
could be a
pace the
couple more
87
laps, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know, time is money right now for Andrew Harris.
And nobody else coming from behind these two with tires. Jason Green's the next truck back there, but he's on the same tires as Radke. So he would be trying to battle Radke for the lead if we get around to it. But
Andrew Harris
still occupies that position at the moment.
He's giving up the saving fuel game, so either he's saved enough to make it, or he's going all out. Jeffrey Radke now under half a second.
3/10 that last lap.
Yep.
That was it. So he's definitely turned up the wick. I just think there's just not enough tire underneath that 87 truck, I think, to make a difference.
See here, it's about to come to blows here with 4 laps to go. This time by 1.5 tenths the gap. Harris and Radke. The time to duel is now. Harris running in that line. Radke has the tire to turn underneath the 87. Side by side down the back stretch with 4 laps to go. This time by will be 3.
How hard does the 87 drive it here? I don't think he's going to be able to do anything.
Not a whole lot. Radke, a big send. All he has to worry about now, does it stick for that 3 truck? And it does. Jeffrey Radke clears to the lead with 3 laps to go here in Homestead.
The next truck you have to look at is Jason Green in 3rd. He's the teammate of Andrew Harris. So
Yep.
he's a little bit far back. I don't think Andrew can really do anything to help him. I think if he gets there, he's going to let him go. But
100% he's
seeing
going
all he
to
wants
do
to
that.
see right now. Yeah, exactly.
But is there enough time for Green to do anything about it?
If Jason saved anything at all in that truck, the time
this
is
is
now.
going to be bad timing too, catching the teammate. That might be it.
Not what those, I don't think what either of those two wanted right there,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Drake Carty is in the thick of things here, trying to get 4th. Gets pushed by Dylan Godinez into the corner.
His boss has pushed him down in the corner.
Get him in there. Get
The
past.
spot from Lane Doyle,
Yeah,
or try
Lane
to
Doyle.
at least. Hey, but those are our
Oh.
top 2 in points right there, so this
Yeah.
matters for points.
And their gap coming into today's race, JB, in points, it wasn't, 0, but it was close. And there it is. Carty clears in front of Doyle. Side by side, 1 lap to go from Homestead. And Godina is trying to get into the fight as well.
Lane clears up in front of the
Yep,
59.
front of 59. Here goes Carty with the crossover. Godinez to 4th. This is going to be a fun battle to the stripe. Contact between them all. Joe Ruggles is in trouble. But the one who's not is the guy who won at Homestead a couple of seasons ago to win a championship. And tonight, Jeffrey Radke wins round 7 on the season. And around goes the 47 behind.
What a save by Lane Doyle to keep it on the track. Comes home 6th, but wow, that was almost a wreck truck. Great job by Jeffrey Radke, though. Played the strategy to a T. Had the truck when it mattered. Ran down the 87. Kudos to Andrew Harris making it all the way, though, for a 3rd place finish. Not a lot of drivers that I think could pull that off. Just the discipline to save tire and save fuel like he did. Fantastic run by both those guys. Great run by Jason Green as well to come back up for that 2nd place finish. But nobody had anything for the end of Jeffrey Radke at the end of the day.
Celebrations for the 3 truck of Jeffrey Radke getting his first win on the season.
And how about this, Emerson? A 2 caution race.
Yeah.
What a
one was
treat
lap
we
1.
had tonight. Yeah, exactly. What a treat we had tonight. And it got strung out at the front at times, but there were fantastic battles all over the racetrack all night. And this kind of just goes to what we've seen so far in Season 7. It continues the narrative of fantastic racing.
Jeffrey Radke and the Fret Level Midnight Motorsports crew, the victory lane tonight here at Homestead Miami Speedway. And we'll take the opportunity here to talk to our race winner here momentarily. But a great run, a great job, Jeffrey Radke. So we'll go ahead and we'll bring on up our race winner for the first time this season, driver of the number 3 in Jeffrey Radke. And Jeffrey, how about it? That was a very fun strategic race for you. And you get it done tonight, outlasting the drivers staying out, kind of outdoing the Kyle Spees and the strategy gurus out there. What kind of fun was it like out there for you?
Oh, it was a blast. Loving the long runs. Lack of cautions really lets the drivers' talents showcase themselves. Homestead is one of my favorite tracks, so came into tonight with high hopes and capped it off.
You sure did, and that Genesis Technologies number 3 looked great out there. Went up there, took the lead away from Drake Carty, who, if you hadn't heard, was on a little bit of a hot streak there. So kind of put that little spark out there as well. A lot of long run pace in this 3 truck tonight. What was it like out there? You know, kind of seeing what you were doing different to the other competitors. Not asking you to give secrets, but you know, was it obvious to you that you were going to have that long run pace tonight?
Wasn't obvious right out the get-go. I wanted to see just kind of how the track was going to change. Seemed like about 15, 20 laps in, you wanted to move up top. That's where the momentum and everything was coming. And as long as you made that transition at the right time, it wasn't too bad. First run tires were pretty bad, but those last couple sets, I was able to keep some wear off of them. So track rubbered up, which was nice. And then just stick it up on the fence and hope you don't wad it up.
Well, I'm sure this is a huge weight off your shoulders, Jeffrey, as you head into the off week, and the week after that is Pocono. So how will you spend your week off, and what do you think about your chances at Pocono?
Super glad to be locked in. Definitely takes weight off. Now I can kind of focus on maybe some of the playoff races. Pocono's another favorite of mine. So maybe we'll come out here and keep the momentum running.
Well, there you are. That is our race winner tonight, driver of the number 3, Jeffrey Radke. Man, congratulations on your first win on the season.
Thanks. Have a good night, guys.
Absolutely. And that was driver of the number 3, Jeffrey Radke. And boy, oh boy, he put on a show tonight, JB. I mean, just seriously, as you mentioned, seriously fast on those long runs.
And we've seen that before out of him. So may not be shocking to us. You know, we were just waiting for that breakthrough for Season 7 because he's a driver, and I'd watch out for the rest of the competition. He can go on a little bit of a run here.
Absolutely. Next lined up here is driver of the number 55, Jason Green, our second place finisher tonight. A lot of pace there at the end, just not enough time. A little bit of a short race today, but what more could you have done differently tonight, Jason?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just a little bit more, a couple more laps. I know I was faster on the long run. I really knew just going into this race, you had to save tire, you had to stay on the bottom, and people would want to go up top and just rip the lip. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy with the finish, P2. Competitive all race, just need a couple more laps there at the end, I feel like.
Tonight, of course, strategy on these long runs is always the talk of the town, but tonight it really was. What was your strategy outlook, and were you able to kind of stay on that strategy even despite the mid-race yellow?
Yeah, I think so. I really wanted to not try and have to save like 60 laps of fuel. I knew when Radke pulled off like a lap earlier than whenever I came in, I was waiting for somebody ahead of me just to come in, just to start the accordion effect. But yeah, no, I feel like I'm much better just saying, hey, you have enough fuel, you have tires, go get it, versus having to pace yourself for 50, 60 laps. It's no good. And plus, I don't think I was going to make it. I mean, I think I was showing still at least like 4 to 5 laps to the bad. whenever I came in, there's no way over those I think that last pit cycle was right around like 27, 30 laps. There's no way I was going to be able to save 4 laps. So I commend everybody that stayed out. I know Andrew had a great finish at the end there because of it. Same with a lot of the other Park Bros Racing guys. So good day overall. We'll take it.
Well, good run for you. I'm sure this is gonna be nice for you to carry some momentum into the off week, and then afterwards is Pocono. What do you think about your chances of Pocono in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I like Pocono. Yeah, we'll recoup here and just try and get after it. It's a good racetrack for me for the most part. This guy keep looking off these top fives. I think this finish should put me towards the top in points without a win. So you get that win. We'll see next week if we can get it or not.
There you are. That is second place finisher, driver of the number 55, Jason Green. Congrats on the podium tonight, Jason. Best of luck to you in 2 weeks' time at Pocono.
Awesome, thank you. I gotta shout out Michael Steele for the paint schemes. He does everybody here at Park Bros Racing. They look phenomenal. I know some people are rocking those pink schemes the last couple of weeks. So just gotta give him a shout out as well. But thank you, Emerson.
Absolutely. The second place finisher, Jason Green, in that 55 machine, in that hopeless Michael Steele graphics designs machine. Trying to read all your
Hopeless
logos.
astronauts.
Hopeless astronauts. There you go.
Alright.
There you are. Second place finisher, Jason Green. And we'll move on down to third place finisher, Andrew Harris, with the fuel strategy tonight, JB.
Mr. Andrew Harris, welcome to the booth. Congrats on your third place finish. If there was anybody that was going to make that long of a run work on fuel, it was definitely going to be you. Talk us through what went into that decision, and is there anything you could have done to maybe save a little bit more tire to turn the wick up there at the end?
Yeah. What happened was we were fighting at the front there, and I hit the outside wall, and I hurt my truck, so I had no more turn. So I had to make a decision that I want to try to race it out with these guys on a regular pit strategy, or do I just want to limp this thing around with no right or no turn in 1 and 2 and try to save enough fuel? And so I just started completely shutting it off in the turns, going around, going super slow, but completely shutting it off. I think if I would have saved, I don't know, maybe another half a lap, because I ran out coming to the checkered flag there. But if I would have saved probably another half a lap, I may have been able to actually put up a fight for, not going to say that I was going to win, but I may be able to run a little bit harder there at the end. So, but it is what it is. I'll take a third after I did not think that I was going to finish in the top 15 after hitting the wall.
Yeah, and it's kind of when you realize you got to take what you can get. But we have an off week coming up next week, so time to kind of reflect on the past little run of races we've had. Maybe look towards what's coming. When we come back from the break, we have our salute to service week out at Pocono, and then we rattle off Richmond and the Charlotte Roval. So, wide range of tracks coming up over the next month or so. How do you approach it? Are there any tracks that kind of stand off as maybe one of your favorites?
Yeah, Pocono is one of my favorite tracks to go to. One of my favorite tracks to go to. Richmond, not so much, and I can't remember the other one that you said, but
Charlotte Roval.
Oh, absolutely! I love Charlotte I love the Charlotte Roval. Said nobody ever, but I am looking forward to Pocono. So we'll see what happens. I'm glad to have the win out of the way, so I don't necessarily have to worry about points, and I'll take this third place finish and right off into this off week.
Yeah, I think everybody really likes having these staggered off weeks in there. But, after today's race, you do remain third in points. So, even though you have that win and you're locked in, you're still pretty well seated as far as, bonus points. And we're already starting to think about that kind of stuff. But before we let you go this evening and celebrate your podium finish, who are some of the sponsors and maybe some of the painters that give you these fantastic looking trucks every week?
Yeah, absolutely. First off, just like to thank you guys for putting this on. My team over at Park Bros Racing, those guys are awesome over there for bringing me back for this one. Coffin Confections, the one on my truck, and Michael Steele for making the paint scheme that I race, which is absolutely my favorite paint scheme that I have ever ran. And of course, last but not least, have to thank my fiance for letting me do this. 2 nights a week I do this, and she doesn't get upset. So.
Well, that's part of it. It all equates together. So congrats on your third place finish, Andrew, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time when we roll into Pocono.
Absolutely. See you next week.
And that was our third place finisher, driver of the number 87, Andrew Harris. JB, notice how all of them said they all like Pocono. They should have some fun next week, or 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, yep. Pocono was one of my favorite tracks as well. I seem to always get caught up in something that unfortunately maybe took me out of a win there. But, we saw strategy this week. We're definitely going to see it next week. Pocono lends itself to a lot of different strategy options. So really can't wait to see what we do there. But, I think the off week next week is going to be well enjoyed by many people who, when we run back-to-back weeks, sometimes you just need that second to reset. I know there's some drivers that have had a rough run of races here recently, so I'm sure they're looking forward to it as well.
The midfield, I'm sure, would enjoy a week without seeing one another.
Yeah. If you talk to anybody that runs in the Xfinity Series or Truck Series, those drivers say, man, that 10th to 20th range is tough. And in SRN, it's the same way. I mean, it's super hard to run well in there because it's just such a dogfight. But yeah, I'm sure some of those guys are ready for a reset.
Let's go through our race results here before we head into that reset. Then it was a Jeffrey Radke first win on the season for the 3 machine. Jason Green P2, Andrew Harris the P3. Those are the podium finishers we heard from. Godinez and Cardi round out the top 5. Lane Doyle P6, Daniel Park P7 for truck number 7, David Flanagan P8. Matthew Greathouse will finish 9th, and Sean Corcoran, how about it? Nice quiet run for Sean. He'll get a top 10.
Yeah. James Shainwolf, who we saw up front early, finishes 11th. Dalton McKinney rebounds for 12th. Justin Smith 13th. Wally Babb 14th. Kyle Johnson 15th. Scott Kalal 16th. Bo Brady 17th. Jeffrey Vickery 18th. Jason Kratky 20th. And Sean Merriman with a quiet top 20.
Move on down the rest of the list. The rest of the lead lap, Aiden King 21st. Evan Carbon 22nd. Cal Spees 23rd. Unfortunately, I believe he had to come back down the pit lane. Why did Cal Spees finish so low down there? I have to go investigate that. Sean Longden 24th. And Daniel Baldler to round out the lead lap. Chris Luttrell will be the first truck 1 lap down in 26th. Joshua Siegfried 27th. That's going to be a ding for him in the points. Joe Ruggles 28th, first truck 2 down. Mark Person 29th, and Spencer Brown finished 30th, 6 laps off the pace.
Michael Seidor will round out 31st. Corey Stahl 32nd. Ben Park 33rd. Robert Vick 34th. Connor Cunningham stayed on track to get all he could for as long as he could, but ultimately comes in 35th. And Zachary Tallman, we saw involved in an early incident, finished 36th.
I felt a field of 36 finished or didn't tonight here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. What the fun one! A lot of green flag racing. The drivers enjoyed it. We sure enjoyed it. You saw drivers really hanging those trucks out, letting the left rears, the right rears sing, keeping their trucks out of the fence, slide jobs and sends. It was fantastic. Coming up next, though, is Pocono. Should be a great time there in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, guys, next week is Election Day. You guys go out and vote. Hope you guys had a great time tonight joining us here at Homestead Miami Speed. Want to give a quick shout out to some of our partners here at Speed Racing Network. Of course, a huge shout out to HairClub, the series namesake. Take control of your hair loss at HairClub. Their total hair solutions can help you keep, regrow, or restore your hair. Speak with their hair loss specialist today and use code SRN10 to save 10% off of your order with HairClub. Also, shout out to ThermoPro. Make sure you use code ThermoProTeam for 15% off. Admin Box, make sure you use code SRN-Box, that's BOXX, for 10% off of your Admin Box purchases. And Premier Racing Setups, make sure you use code SpeedNetwork15 for 15% off of your PRS purchases. Don't forget to check out our socials. We'll keep those active in the off week. Facebook.com/Speed Racing Network. Our X at Speed Racing Net. Our Instagram at Speed Racing Network. Our YouTube, of course, at youtube.com/Speed Racing Network. Twitch at Speed Racing Net. LinkedIn.com/company/Speed Racing Network. And the website where you keep up with all things SRN at SpeedRacingNetwork.com. But that'll do it here from Miami. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Join us then in 2 weeks' time as the HairClub trucks head to the Poconos for round number 8 of 24 on the season. And from all at Speed Racing Network, Jonathan Byer and myself, Emerson Arden, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks.